So the welterweight debut? No, not quite. Kevin Holland has been in the welterweight division before, but this is his first time in the welterweight division in quite some times, and he is being welcomed by number 34 ranked Cowboy Oliveira, Alex Oliveira. Kevin Holland, though, is a minus 260 favorite, plus 210 comeback for Oliveira, and I think this is one of those situations here, AJ, where Oliveira, yes, he's 2-3 in his last 5. Yes, he has lost a majority of his last 10. But this is a UFC veteran who has the skill set and the experience to get a win against just about anybody. Now let's look at his last 5 real quick, AJ. We have in his last 5. Nico Price, where he loses via decision. Randy Brown, a Kevin Holland-esque type fighter, right? Less skilled in the grappling department is Kevin Holland, but Randy Brown is a dangerous man. He gets submitted in the first round after getting clipped. All right, it happens. Shavkat Rakhmonov, he gets submitted in the first round via guillotine. But let's be honest, those 3 fighters, I mean, that is a gauntlet of 3 fighters to be facing. Then you got Peter Sabata, he got a decision win, and Max Griffin got a split decision win. And I cannot tell you how impressive that Max Griffin win is. Either way, AJ, Kevin Holland, he was able to stand his ground a little bit against Kyle Dawkins before the headbutt happened, and then he ultimately got finished. Didn't really stand a chance against Marvin Vettori or Derek Brunson, but he did get that flashy first-round knockout against Jacare and against Charlie Ontiveros. Basically just slammed him, hurt his neck, called it a day right there. Alex Oliveira clearly has more experience against higher caliber opponents. Yes, has he lost a lot of those? Yes, he has. But I think he has a real shot to win this fight, AJ. And this is no disrespect to the Trailblazer, who we know and love on this program. Big mouth Trailblazer, call him what you want to call him. Kevin Holland is a bad man. He's a dangerous man. And if this fight stays on the feet, and it just stays on the feet like this at range, Kevin Holland, this is his fight to win. Give me the reasons why Alex Oliveira can win this fight, though, AJ. Because we know that there's one kryptonite to Kevin Holland's game, and that is getting put on your back. Because there's a little bit of a lack of urgency to get back up to the feet. It's more, all right, let's play jiu-jitsu, let's play in the guard. And against Alex Oliveira, who in his 34 total fights has 5 submission wins, never been knocked out, brother. It's something to take into consideration. Why can Alex Oliveira win this fight?
Man, there's obviously the ground game attack. Like that's kind of the big one. Anytime anybody thinks Kevin Holland, put him on his back, he's going to try, all his moves that he's been doing. But I think the real big one right here is the doubt that Alex Oliveira can really start setting in the head of Kevin Holland. Because Kevin Holland fighting down at 170, now he's going to be the bigger guy. He's going to be the rangier guy. He's going to have more muscle to him. And going, back, he's been working on all the ground game, all the holes in his game. He's been really trying. It's just at the 185, they've been a little too big for him to handle. So now he's coming in thinking, all right, like I'm coming in, I'm going to be the big guy. I'm going to control these dudes. And then if Alex Oliveira can get things to the ground, control him, really dominate him on the ground, that's when the doubt starts creeping. Like, shit, man, I did X, Y, and Z to prevent exactly this happening. All right, maybe I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try X. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep moving, buddy. Alex Oliveira keeps shutting him down. That's really where I start to think the mental cognition or the mental prowess that Kevin Holland has really starts to break down. If that isn't the case, let's say Kevin Holland does defend the takedowns, does do all the stuff well, then I think it's, running with dogs after that one. But Alex Oliveira can easily depend or kind of lay on that experience technique that he has and really kind of get things going. I know a couple in a couple of his last fights for Alex Oliveira, it's been what's the word? There's been some heat on him, man. There's been some shit talk going back and forth, especially in that Randy Brown fight. Nico Price, not so much, but he got really controlled in that fight. So that was more the prowess of Nico's wrestling than anything. But in the Shavkat, in the Randy Brown fight, you can see that he's fighting a different way. And anytime Alex Oliveira is animated and excited, he doesn't fight his best. So I think with this one, if he can avoid the games, the mental games of Kevin Holland, depend on that experience, Alex Oliveira gets a fight to the ground, then it's going to be an interesting fight for him, man. I mean, it sounds easy to be able to take Kevin Holland down. Yeah, sure. Hold him down, get him there. The fight's yours. But Kevin Holland has been working on the ground game. So I think it's a little tougher of a chance for Oliveira. And if he pings him from outside, I mean, he doesn't have the height or the reach anymore. But that'd be another thing that would surprise Kevin Holland to kind of get him thinking like, oh, shit, maybe this isn't exactly as easy as I thought it was going to be. Either way, a very fun fight. What do you think, Derek?
Well, I do want to make a quick revision to what I said. I said that Alex Oliveira has never been knocked out in his career. However, he has been once, and it was against Yancy Medeiros back in 2017, and he lost due to punches in the third round of that fight. However, that was 5 years ago, right? So since then, the majority of his losses have come via decision and submission. He's been submitted like 6 times in his career. I agree with basically everything that you said there, my man. I think that Oliveira, that is his path to victory, being a desperate man, getting the fight to the ground at all costs, because if you stay at range with Kevin Holland, that's his fight to win all day long. But my question to you is that Kevin Holland does have a tendency to overcommit on his strikes, those long, rangy, just looping shots, where I think Alex Oliveira can be sneaky, get some inside double legs, get some trips, get some all of that fun stuff, man. So I do think that that is the clear path to victory. Can it be done? We will see, man. I don't want to see either of these fighters lose, but somebody has to lose. Big fan of Kevin Holland. I'm just going with the contrarian pick here because Alex Oliveira, I'm basically placing this pick and relying on this pick, folks, just for transparency, on the desperation of Alex Oliveira, who has lost 3 fights in a row and could potentially be on the chopping block here. You never count out a desperate man who is most dangerous when their back is against the wall. But then again, AJ, Kevin Holland, we can argue that he's in the same spot. He lost 2 in a row, even though that last fight, let's be honest, brother. If that would have went 3 rounds, the way that it was starting to play out, Dawkins was getting all the leverage and momentum. It ended up as a no contest, but you can count it as 3 losses in a row for Kevin Holland, essentially. So 2 desperate men. We'll see what happens, AJ. Let's go picks. Who you got? Why? Over and under on this one is 1.5 rounds. And AJ, I'm just going to put this out there. Oliveira to win by KO, TKO, or submission is plus 550. I'm just going to throw that out there. Who do you got, brother?
Ooh, they're really down Cowboy Oliveira. I'm not doubting him at all, but I am going with Kevin Holland, man. Gotcha. I think Kevin Holland, both of these guys have a need to win fight right here. I just think Kevin Holland needs it a little bit more. And he has the kind of the eyes on him, the youth, the vigor. He has a lot of stuff going for him. I think it's going to be a Kevin Holland fight. Unless, you're right, Derek, the desperation of Alex Oliveira can come out, and that's where we're going to see something different. I'm rolling with the odds makers on this one. I'm taking the over. I'm going Kevin Holland by decision. It's going to be a long fight. I think it's going to be a rangy one. If Alex Oliveira can get it done, though, it's going to be by the ground and pound. We'll see who you're going with.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm rolling with Cowboy in this spot. I just think that, like I said, it's one of those things where if Cowboy can get that grappling down and he can mitigate the striking of Kevin Holland, I just don't see Kevin Holland having the grappling chops to be able to keep getting up time and time and time again. After a while, it becomes Vittori-esque where you're just like, damn, man, even if I do clip him on the feet, he's finding a way to get to the single or whatever. Then this is the other big key factor. When I was looking at the Alex Oliveira versus Randy Brown fight, Randy Brown didn't have success just because he was piecing him up. It's because he chained together his strikes with his grappling and ended up finishing Oliveira via submission. So it's like if Kevin Holland doesn't have that aspect to his game, and if he really is just depending on I got to get the knockout shot, he can totally do that. I mean, he's done it 12 times before or something like that. He's done it a lot of times before. But the point is, for Alex Oliveira, man, it's just that crafty veteranship. Similar to Derek Brunson, where he had Derek Brunson out on Queer Street and he was just able to grab the single. Danger averted. So I'm going Alex Oliveira, but I'm going the over 2, man. I think that this is, unless, I think under 1.5 only comes if Kevin Holland knocks out Oliveira. I don't see it really happening any other way. But like I said, folks, plus 550, I think that you should throw at least $5, $10 down there on Oliveira, just because a submission by Oliveira over Kevin Holland could totally happen. I don't see why that wouldn't be able to happen. But all right, brother, that is that one. We'll move on.